Hello, my name is Emily Owens, and I'm the State Director for Virginia Science Olympiad. This video will cover the recruitment and role of event supervisors at VASO tournaments. So let's start with the big question of what is an event supervisor? Well, event supervisors are the adults responsible for running and scoring a tournament event. Every event in each division at a tournament needs a supervisor in charge of it on tournament day. You can see an example schedule here for a regional tournament that's running 16 events in Division B. Each of those 16 events needs a designated adult responsible for it the entirety of the day, from the very first session when it's run all the way through to the end to score the event and submit final results. And this is just one division. Our tournaments often have both divisions B and C, and so we would need an entire other set of event supervisors for our Division C events. You can see how that starts to add up with the number of adults that we need to make this possible. To be more specific about what event supervisors are doing, they're the ones giving the tests, overseeing the lab activities, setting up for each session, whether it's at the beginning of the sessions or resetting it in between sessions. They're measuring and scoring the builds on tournament day if they're in a build event, and all of them are the ones scoring tests, inputting scores into spreadsheets, and submitting final event results on tournament days so that we can award medals and trophies at the end of our award ceremonies. This is a huge job, and it's what makes our tournaments possible and so successful and exciting for our student competitors. One thing I want to note is that at VASO tournaments, when we say event supervisor, we mean something a little different than what other states or invitational tournaments might mean. We distinguish between event supervisors and event writers. We are not asking our event supervisors to write their tests. VASO commits to trying to find outside writers to write our tests separate from our event supervisors that we have at each tournament. Other states and invitationals may not make that distinction and may expect event supervisors to also be the ones to write and bring tests on tournament day. We do not ask to write tests. We're asking for the running and scoring at our tournament events only. And we feel like that's a huge job in itself. We know that event supervisors are committing the bulk of their tournament day to supervising and scoring. And in exchange, VASO provides them a t-shirt. We provide them lunch to, give them that sustenance to make it through a tournament day. And we also hope that event supervisors experience the joy that we feel by making the day a great one for our student scientists. It's a big job, but it's a rewarding job. With that big job, know that event supervisors are not alone in doing this. In order to be ready to run and score an event well, we support our event supervisors by doing a number of things in advance of tournaments and during the tournament. First, we assign and contact event supervisors weeks in advance to make sure that they know they're committed to running the event and to connect them with the relevant tournament personnel who will help see them through the process. This does mean that we ask coaches of teams weeks in advance of tournaments to submit possible supervisor names so that we can make sure we have a good fit for every event well before the tournaments actually happen. Once we make that initial contact, we provide our event supervisors with training materials, including rules and score sheets for certain events. We provide training videos, other tips and tricks, and any other content that we think event supervisors need to be successful in implementing these events. And this isn't just a blanket email sent out to event supervisors. We do actually connect you with event group leaders that you can ask questions of if you have them as you review the training resources and other event resources. These event group leaders are seasoned Science Olympiad volunteers who have run events before, who have reviewed the tests that you're going to be administering, and who have been connecting with event supervisors at other tournaments so they can provide insight into how the event should go on tournament day. We also, on tournament day, provide score room personnel who can counsel event supervisors when scoring events and entering in final event results to answer any questions that they have and to make sure that everything is going smoothly. So even though event supervisors are the ones in charge of their specific event for the tournament day, they always have a support system of tournament personnel and people here at VASO to make sure that they have what they need to feel good about implementing it for themselves and for the students. So who can be an event supervisor? Well, we hope that you'll consider being one if you're watching this video and are eligible. Event supervisors can be any adult. It could be a parent, a mentor, school staff. It could be a coach, or it could be other community members. It could be college students. It could be VASO alum. However you have made your way to Science Olympiad, if you're an adult, you can be an event supervisor. There are a couple caveats to this, but they're small. Family members cannot supervise an event that their student competes in. However, they can supervise other events at that tournament, so they can still contribute to their students' team tournament experience. High school students, even if they're 18, are not permitted to be event supervisors, but they can sign up for some select volunteer shifts. And if you want to know more information about those volunteer roles, we have a video on our resource page about volunteer tournament roles. What makes a good event supervisor? Supervisors don't need to be experts in the event topic, but they should have some sort of knowledge in that topic area or event, though that could come from a wide variety of sources. It could be from their job, it could be from prior years of Science Olympiad experience as a coach, mentor, or even as a participant, or it could come from other pursuits. However that knowledge has been gained, it's useful if you have some of that going into an event. But again, we don't expect you to be an expert. We just want you to have some foundational base to be able to understand what's going on in the event rules for your assigned event. Ultimately, though, a good supervisor is someone willing to ask questions in advance and to prepare the best they can to make the tournament experience go smoothly for them and for competing teams. Enthusiasm matters to make sure that people are excited and engaged with the work that they're going to be doing. One of our largest sources of event supervisors is parents. If your child is competing on a Science Olympiad team this year, know that the coach of their team will have to submit possible supervisor names to us so that we can choose from them as we staff our tournaments. Sometimes VASO is able to find some outside event supervisors, but the bulk of our supervisors, especially for regional tournaments, often come from our team sources. Depending on the tournament and the number of teams your school fields, teams will be expected to provide 1 to 2 event supervisors on their tournament day. We often ask, though, for coaches to submit more names than that so that we have a variety to choose from to make sure we have good fits that cover all events at every tournament. It is a huge help to a team coach if they have parents willing to take on this role so that the coach themselves can be available for the team during competition. If parents are unavailable, other community members, event mentors, alum, other school staff, we please ask you to consider signing up with your coach to be an event supervisor so that they can be free during tournament day to give the support they need to students. This could be that they are needed for appeals or, for asking questions of VASO, since they're the only ones who can do those roles. However, depending on the nature of how teams are set up, some coaches may feel comfortable being event supervisors, and they can absolutely do it too. If you're a parent considering being an event supervisor and you're planning on being there during the tournament day anyway, please know that only a select few events are available for public viewing. So if you plan to be there, but your student is competing only in closed door events, please consider being an event supervisor to get part of the Science Olympiad experience, since you may not be able to watch your student compete. Those select few events for public viewing are often some of our build events that are listed at the bottom of tournament schedules, but our knowledge events, our test-based events, those happen in closed room environments to protect the content of the events, so there's no spoilers for other teams. This means then that instead of waiting outside of a room for your student to finish up an event, you could be running an event yourself and see what that experience is like from the other side. Even if your student does participate in build events that are open for public viewing, your team coach may be able to schedule the team time slot for when you are not actively supervising so that you can still go and watch your student compete in those events. Coaches sign up for those self-schedule events a few weeks before the tournament actually happens. So they can coordinate with you to see what might work best to make sure that you can still watch them perform. It may not always be possible depending on the event assignments of their team, but it's something that they can try to do. And ultimately, being an event supervisor on behalf of your school's team is a great way to contribute to your students' team experience. Every team is excited to be there, and it means a lot to them to see their parents and community members also participating in Science Olympiad by being event supervisors. Our other big source of event supervisors are SO alumni. We love when VASO alum want to supervise events, or even alum from other states who have made their way to Virginia and seek us out because they loved Science Olympiad so much. Our past alumni who have done this, who have stepped up to volunteer, have found it really rewarding to see the competition from the other side and to work with students who are discovering the joy of Science Olympiad like they once did. It's a really special feeling to kind of give back to an organization that a lot of these alum, really appreciated when they were in middle and high school. And also, alumni can volunteer on behalf of their former school's team if they're available to supervise at that school's regional. So, alum, if you're in the neighborhood of your former school, feel free to reach out to your coach and volunteer your services if your schedules align. I know they would really appreciate it. If you don't live near your school, or especially if you're, new to Virginia and did Science Olympiad in another state, you can reach out to VASO directly via our alumni form on our website. And we have opportunities available for event supervising, event writing, and other ways that you can contribute to Science Olympiad. Event supervisors are what make all of this possible for our student scientists who compete every year. And so while, yes, it is the responsibility of competing teams to provide event supervisors on tournament days, ultimately, it's also about sharing in the joy and experience of what Science Olympiad gives to us all. And without these event supervisors, without you, these tournaments just can't happen. So thank you for considering signing up to be an event supervisor this year. Thank you for giving your time to your school's team and to VASO, and we hope to see you at a tournament this season. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our social media and follow us on all of these platforms.